what have you. Mitch Lyons on the other end of our line right now, the great tight end for the Michigan State Spartans and onto a career in the National Football League. Mitch, thanks for joining us here this morning. I'm looking at the bio. And you played for George Perles at Michigan State. I was just wondering if you were on the Rose Bowl team or if that was a little bit before you.
I was not. First of all, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
No, I got recruited in on the coattails of that team. I was being recruited that fall, and I got sold on what they had going on. And then 5 games into my freshman year, we were 0-4-1. So I was wondering what the heck was going on.
I guess you would be. Yeah, that was well, that's a remarkable drop off from one year to the next. Let's talk about though this 2010 Spartan team. A lot of things I think to be encouraged about following the opening week victory over Western Michigan. First and foremost, it seems to me, the running game.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for sure, that was the most encouraging sign. And I'd been down to practice a couple weeks before the opener, and I was really impressed with Le'Veon Bell in practice, and I know they were speaking very highly of him, and I thought he was fantastic, and Baker ran really well too. So that was encouraging, and they just need to keep improving each week. There certainly was enough areas to be corrected, but that was definitely one positive.
How do you like the new uniforms?
I like them. I think they're pretty sharp. It's a little different than the Stade uniforms used to have back in the day, but hey, times change, and I guess that's progress, huh?
Well, see, here's my problem. I guess I'm old and I'm sort of stuck in my ways. In fact, I got a great thrill a couple weeks ago when I was messing around on YouTube. You wouldn't understand this having been born in, and I'll say, if you don't mind me saying so, you haven't been born in 1970, but I came across footage of the 1974 Michigan State-Ohio State game, which I was stunned to learn on a Big Ten program was ranked like the 12th best MSU game ever, because clearly it was the best MSU game of all time. The circumstances were this. It was November 1974. Woody Hayes and his Ohio State Buckeyes were undefeated, untied, and ranked number 1 in the nation. They came to Spartan Stadium, and in a nationally televised game, lost to Michigan State 16-14. The Spartans were trailing with 3 minutes to go, and Levi Jackson busted through a little hole, little seam, and went 88 yards for the touchdown, just when we all thought hope is lost because it's 1st and 10, but they're back at their own 12-yard line. And this was when I was going to Michigan State, and he was just kept running down that sideline, getting closer and closer to us, and we just went nuts. And then Ohio State proceeded to drive the length of the field and scored an apparent touchdown as time ran out. And the referees ran off the field. One had signaled a washout, one had signaled touchdown, and for 45 minutes nobody knew who actually won that football game, but State prevailed 16-14. That was the greatest game I've ever seen. And when the song says, Mitch Lyons, fight for the only colors, I don't think you should go changing the color.
Well, yeah, that's definitely a point.
And not to mention a long, boring story to go with it.
Exactly. Well, it's funny how, for that, I've certainly heard the story of that game, and it's funny how it leaves an indelible impression when you're actually there. I think the game for me as a fan was the 2001 game. Just, it couldn't get any more dramatic.
Oh, yeah,
exactly. Drive, and then obviously with the 1 second.
Yeah.
Or perceived 1 second left on the clock, depending on which side of the sidelines you talk to. But for me, it's going to be a tough one to beat in terms of just, just being a fan. But certainly as a player, the 90 game against Michigan, beating them down there when they were number 1 was a great thrill as well.
Tell you what, we were looking through the Michigan State media guide the other night at Comerica Park while the Tigers game was going on. Somebody actually, the question I think was, had Steve Garvey ever played football for Michigan State? And it turned the great Los Angeles Dodger, and it turns out he had. He just missed that great game in '66, the 10-10 tie against Notre Dame. He played in 1967, as it turned out. But as I was going through the guide, I came upon Michigan State's 2011 schedule. Now that we've got the 2 divisions, and Michigan State next year, the conference opens. It's like Nebraska, Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's murderer's row, but I know a lot of people have expressed some dissatisfaction with that. But at the end of the day, I mean, you got to play them sometime, and if you're good enough, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
There you go.
In my mind, you just got to line up and play, and I think that's the mindset Coach D'Antonio will take. And
I like the non-conference.
Bottom line is we're trying to get to that next level, and you don't get to that next level without beating the people that are already there.
I like the non-conference schedule the way it's set up this year. You've got the one marquee game against Notre Dame, but the other 3 are games that you should frankly win, and it's a good opportunity to get things in good order before the Big Ten season starts.
Well, I think so, and certainly, you have to play them each one game at a time, as we learned last year against Central,
Sure.
and as we have periodically over the years. You can't take anybody lightly, especially in this day and age of the parity in college football. But yeah, this is a great schedule to start the season. I mean, barring Notre Dame win, I mean, I think we've got a really good chance to go into the Wisconsin game undefeated, and that's a home game. And again, you got to beat the teams that are at the level you want to get to, and Wisconsin's certainly a strong program.
Great Spartan Mitch Lyons joining us this morning. Mitch, thanks so much for your insights. Thanks to our TV viewers for joining us this morning. Radio listeners, stick around. We've got more to come. Rich Kincaid filling in for Michael Patrick Shields on this. That's a Football Friday right here on Michael Patrick in the AM.